Hello everyone, my name is BottleTopHornet and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. As you can see behind me, something has come to the Isle of Ender. I'm sure a few of you have seen the video that I uploaded in between episodes, but if you haven't, I made a short film showing off a little bit of story, a little bit of lore around the Isle of Ender. And as you can see, there's a bit of a visual glitch that's happening right now with Optifine, where if I don't have the crystal in view, the beam disappears. Which is a little unfortunate, as this is going to be hopefully a large part of the story behind the Isle of Ender, but hopefully that gets patched pretty soon. Until then, it does work in vanilla. It's just I have Optifine to allow me to zoom, which helps with doing all this filming. So we'll see how it goes. That being said, I need to patch this hole. A couple of you might have noticed at the end of that video that I posted that a tiny little part of the screen down here shows me getting blown up, or at least a creeper exploding right as I was trying to film this all happening. And I couldn't be bothered filming it again, so I just left it in. So I'm going to patch this hole, get this all sorted. And then for this episode, because I want to do some building right about where that iron farm is, I think it's about time we upgraded our iron farm. Oh, gee, I wish that beam would stay there. Soon. Very soon. But this episode, we're going to rebuild, or more to the point, we're going to improve and make a new iron farm. And I think we're going to do it in what I'm starting to think of as our main farm island. So this island here is where I want to put most of my automatic farms, and every time I add more, I can put it into here. And we're going to set up an iron farm in here that feeds directly into the water line that comes out of these farms. And that way, we can take it all over to our automatic storage system, and we can have iron feeding directly into here. So with that being said, let me fix up that hole in the ground next to that pillar that we have. And then, oh, it looks so cool. I can't wait till it's patched, and that is always there. For now though, sitting on top of here, it still looks pretty cool. And it's definitely going to be something that we incorporate into the Isle of Ender story, but not this episode. I think I'd like to wait at least until that's fixed up, or until I can find a solution before I start doing anything too serious with that. So we're going to move on with a couple other projects I want to get done. So let me patch this hole down here and we'll get into building that iron farm. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave that iron farm running until I have the next one set up. And so we're going to grab a few things out of the storage system, and I have an idea of how I want to set it up, but part of me is wondering whether I want to try and do it without actually following a design. A bit like my gold farm, I like the idea of the fact that I know the mechanics, I know the basic setup for all different sorts of iron farms, and I'm wondering whether I can make my own version. So, yeah. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. There's no guarantee that it's going to work, but I mean, if it doesn't, I can always go back and fix it later, and it's worth experimenting and trying to improve my skills and not just always follow a tutorial, because I actually probably have learnt a lot. It's just I never put it into practice. So I like the idea of having to do this myself, and yeah, I'm excited to try it out. So what I'm going to do is set myself up with this beacon and dig out an area that I think will probably work for the farm itself. And I'm gonna I'm gonna make most of it probably buried underground. Now, what I need to do is find out where the two main water supplies, and I think the one for the mob farm is actually quite a bit lower. Actually, I know exactly how I can get in there. The repository, because when we were down the bottom here, I actually popped through right into where it was. There we go. So if I dig my way across and use some coordinates, I might be able to get myself at least just above this level. If I dig from, say, here and make my way... and make my way... Oh, there's a ravine. Quite a large ravine. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of... exploring, a little bit of investigating, and work out how best to find my position in relation to this water stream. And then once we have that, that'll sort of give me the location for where I want to dig the hole to house the iron farm itself. And then connecting it up should be fairly simple from there. So my idea is that I want to make a couple of platforms for the iron farm and have it so that the golems are killed by lava blades, and all that water, rather than going straight into a storage system, pushes the items that they drop straight down through a series of twists and turns and back into this right here. That way, we already have the setup done. We don't have to make a new storage system. We don't have to store it over there. Anytime iron is made from the iron farm, it's going to come directly into our storage system that we already have. And yeah, then it's easy to access and we know where it is. So I'm going to dig through this way, work out my coordinates a little bit better, and then we're going to set up that beacon and do a bit of digging. And surprisingly, it wasn't actually that difficult. Here we have, just over there is where our mob farm is. And this sort of popped out at almost a perfect spot. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Super close. I mean, with a piece of ice there and then a block on the end, one water stream will essentially do it perfectly. So if we pop up here, like so, it's a little bit dicey, but not too bad. I just quickly marked out essentially the size that I think I want to do, which should stop iron golems from being able to spawn on the outside. I've gone 16 by 16, and I'm going to basically dig down to level 39 down there. And essentially I can make, hopefully, a system that comes from just underneath here so that they can't spawn on top. We'll have to be very careful of that they can't spawn up on top of the island. And then I can probably, it'll depend. I'll have to see how many layers I can get down in here, because I might have to do a little bit of research as to the spawning radius from each layer that I make. And worst case, I can actually go all the way down to bedrock if I really wanted to, get some good rates and a good supply of iron, and then just bring the stuff up in a water elevator back up to that point. So I'm going to probably do a little bit of Googling, and then we're just going to do a very quick 10-second time lapse of me digging my way down here. Because quite honestly, I love that little bit of music that I have, and it's a super easy way for me to show off exactly what I'm doing without taking up too much time in the video. So let's do that, and I'll meet you at the bottom. And welcome back to the bedrock layer. I ended up going a fair bit deeper than I intended, and we did find some diamond, which is cool. So as I was digging down, up there is actually where I originally had dug down to. That's the height of the water line, and I looked at that little section there that we'd got and went, that's not going to be enough. I want a bigger iron farm, and so I just kept digging all the way down here. That 10-second time lapse was about an hour of digging to get down to the bedrock layer. But this way I can make a fairly decent size iron farm and hopefully add quite a few layers. And yeah, if I can make it work, we should get a decent supply of iron. Now, what I want to do is I left the diamonds there because I wanted to grab the fortune pickaxe and get them with you guys on camera. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... not that great, but 10 diamonds is 10 diamonds. Can't really complain about that. Well, I probably just put them in here for now, and then they're out of the way. The other thing that I actually discovered was this cave here. Well, actually, the easiest way for me to get up there would probably be to use those ender pearls. So up here, I actually found a cave that I hadn't lit up yet, which is no good considering just up there is where our mob farm is. So after digging out all the stuff that I did, I think what I want to do is just quickly go through here and actually light up the cave and maybe grab some of these resources while we're here. How far am I going to sink? See, perfect example is we have a bunch of mobs already just sitting there. And that's going to be taking up the mob cap for our main spawner. So the more of the caves around this area that we light up... Ooh. Nah, you're not quite fancy enough. Imagine if I found a super fancy mob down here and had to transport him back. Yeah, wow. Okay. A whole section. I've got to watch above me just in case. Wonderful. So it's actually a good thing that I found this, because obviously that's going to improve our rates in the mob farm once we light this whole place up. So definitely a good find. So once I finish lighting all this up, I'm going to go back in and try and work out a way to set up my iron farm. I know the basic mechanics, right? So I'll run over those, or at least what I know of them, when I get in there for you guys, and then we'll see what we can come up with. But there's no guarantee at this point whether it is going to work. I'm just going to do my best and hope that something good comes from it and we get a decent supply of iron. But, oh wow. But it could take a while to get serious. I might not do all the lighting of this area up right now. I might come back at a later date since it looks like it's a bigger job than I anticipated. And then, yeah, make sure this is all done. So let's get back to the iron farm. I'm rambling now. Right, so up top here, we've got our hole. And I went a little bit further down because I didn't like the idea of having to build it too close to the... Is that it? Do I need more? Do I really need more? There's no wood around, is there? It almost feels like wrong not to get it now. One moment. I just have to do it. I've like built up the muscle memory now. Hey, that should have worked. I was about to say something about how you don't want to go out there, mate. Trust me. About how I'm the master at this, but I can't seem to catch them. Come here. There we go. Okay. As you can see, our beam over there, oh, every time I see it, I just love it. Wait, hold on. Yeah. There is still that glitch where if the actual crystal itself isn't in render view, it just disappears. And it's particularly noticeable right now with the dark sky and the rain. So hopefully that gets patched and fixed up with Optifine. But it does work. Oh, look at that. It does work fine when you're just playing in vanilla. So when it comes to actually releasing this world, it's not going to be a problem. But I would like to have it back working while I do all this filming as well. So what I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by that Enderman is all of that was about 3 and, yeah, nearly a half double chest worth of stone. And also a bunch of other resources as well. So, I mean, it actually was worth it because I am trying to stockpile a really large supply of stone for future projects. So digging this larger hole was, yeah, a good choice, I think. Now, if I grab some of this stone, I can show you the basic idea behind what I want to do. So we'll drop down the bottom again and have a look. So basically what I want to do for this iron farm is dig some small chambers into the side. Like, oh, of course, down the bottom here is just out of the range of the beacon, which is unfortunate. So what I want to do is dig a channel down through here, probably 6 wide by 3 high. And in these caves here that I create, I want to put a zombie at the end of it. So it's safe from the iron golems that will spawn. But basically, I think what I want to do is go something like this. Now imagine that platform comes and basically covers most of these sides and comes out a couple of blocks or so out the other direction. And right here, obviously this will all be a little bit higher up because we're right near the base here. But I want to have beds with the villagers on there. So we have our villagers, we have our zombie in that section there, scaring the villagers, and then our platform for spawning the iron golems is directly above the villagers. And then hopefully, I think the spawning radius of iron golems is about 8 blocks from the villager themselves in all directions. So we'll try and make it so that they have more space underneath their beds that they're standing on than 8 blocks before the next platform. Or more to the point, the platform here should be more than 8 blocks between it and the next layer of villagers, which will go up there. So my idea is on both sides, I can have 3 villagers essentially just hanging off the edge of the wall here, so they can only stand on their beds, and on this side as well. And then a zombie tucked into the walls, staggered all the way up this section here, and that way the iron golems come across in some water streams, fall over into the middle, and we have 2 platforms or 2 spawning sections per layer. And then I can go up another 8 blocks, do another layer, up another 8 blocks, do a layer, and I might even be able to get 4 or 5 layers up through here. I'd like to do some testing, so I'd like to do maybe these 2 bottom layers, and see whether it works, see whether it actually spawns the iron golems, and then maybe I can continue up, but we'll do some testing first. This is going to require a little bit of work to get the villagers down here. I don't necessarily want to risk throwing them down into water or something, so I'll probably create a spiraling minecart track that goes all the way down. And then if we start at the bottom, each layer that we go up, we can just remove the track and reset it up for each height. So what I'm going to do is spend a little bit of time off camera. I'm going to go gather a bunch of the villagers, and for starters, I'll probably just grab 6 to make sure this works. If this does work, I'll get it set up and we can show the results possibly next episode, because I'm running a little bit late. I've been a bit unwell, and I would like to get this episode out a little bit earlier for you guys. I don't want it to be too large a wait. So we'll get the proof of concept going. And then if that does work, I can do the grinding off camera and set up all the rest of it as well. So we'll get 6 villagers over here, get it all set up, and try out our luck as far as setting up this custom iron farm goes. Okay, so in the interest of time, I've gone and prepared 2 zombies for the 2 stations down below, and I've actually built up my first area. So we'll pop down and have a look at that quickly. As you can see, I've got my 6 villagers sitting on their beds ready to go, and I've made a little area in there where I'm going to put my zombies. I've completely spawn-proofed this bottom here so that nothing will spawn underneath them, and then I've made these 2 platforms up here, which is going to hopefully be where the... Ow. Oh dear, that was close. It's hopefully going to be where... I saw you up there. I better make sure I get that guy before I have him fall on me. But hopefully these platforms will be where the iron golems will spawn. Now let me just take care of that. Okay. Obviously there's a couple little spots around here that are still not quite lit up correctly. So we'll just make sure that that's all spawn proof, because the last thing I want is for a creeper to fall down and destroy my hard work. Alright, that should be okay. So essentially what I'm going to do is put some fence gates along this line here on that block height that'll stop water from flowing off this platform. They seem a bit antsy, but then I can put a line of water along the back, and these platforms is where the golems will spawn. From there I can basically just stack this up an extra layer and an extra layer all the way up to the top. But my idea is that this will push the golems over the edge far enough away that they won't land on any of these beds, and they'll all land at the bottom here into a water sort of flowing down into a lava blade. So everything will fall down from the top. They'll hit this area here, which will have some layers of water all funneling them down into a lava layer. And then from there, we can move the iron up through the system. So all I need to do now is actually get some zombies down here. So the ones that I have up top, I can use. And basically, what I want to do, I was looking at some YouTube videos, and I did know that you need to break line of sight with the villagers and the zombie. And I saw someone, I think it was Logical Geek Boy, had it so that there was some rails set up like so, where basically the zombie rode on this rail back and forth because it was constantly powered, and they move behind this block for just a moment, and it's just long enough to break line of sight with those villagers, and as they do, it resets the whole iron farm mechanic, and they can sleep if it's nighttime, so this can continue on even when it's dark outside and they're meant to be sleeping. So basically all I have to do is, I already have the rails up there. What I might do is open this side up a little bit to come across to where the rail finishes. Something like this. Yeah, that's not bad. I'll raise the height of it a bit. Oh, I just hit the beacon zone so that he comes down into this area. And then all I have to do is funnel him down here. So if I do something like this, that should still work, I hope. Now, because this one's actually set up in the path of this, what do you call it, rail, I might actually do that side first, just so that I can finish with the easier one. So, I might actually go across like so, and if that'll turn around, perfect. Now, I feel like this is definitely not going to be the most efficient farm. That's not my plan. It's more my plan is to see whether, or I suppose you'd say more my plan is to prove that you don't have to by block follow a design, because the mechanics work sort of regardless of the design. There is just the simple basics behind it. You need a platform, you need villagers, you need a zombie or something to scare them. Now, that means that there are many, many forms that this farm could take. and you can be as efficient or inefficient as you like, but it means that you can actually design something. Not saying that this is a cool design or it looks good at the moment, but in the future it could. We could also upgrade this for sure. But essentially, oh, it's nighttime. Essentially, it doesn't matter what it looks like as long as you have the basic setup within the parameters and you have it spawn proofed. So I should actually get rid of this block here just to make sure that nothing spawns on there. So yeah, main point is, as long as you have the parameters met, it doesn't matter what your iron farm looks like, it should still work. So I'm just going to dig down into here, somewhere along this side. There we go. Make up the same sort of thing over here where we have the powered rails and such. And then we come up across here with the rails. Perfect. So now I should be able to just grab a bit of redstone, because that's actually, where are my blocks? I had them over here somewhere. Grab a bit of redstone for those rails, and then we can try pushing this guy down and see whether he survives. So good luck. I don't want to capture another one, so please go down. All the way down into position. Now, this will probably mean that an iron golem will spawn here shortly, because... where is he? He's probably just dropped out of view. There we go. So that actually proves to us that the mechanic is working. I need to block this area off so that the iron golem doesn't kill him, but he shouldn't be able to get to the zombie himself. So let's close up this whole area so that we don't have any spawns happening or any spawnable spaces. And if I just push him a little bit out of the way, excuse me, pardon me. There we go. Close this area up. Like so. And then the idea is, if I just pop a block, I think here will do, and do the same on the other side. Once I get him moving, okay, that's not quite working. So he obviously needs to be able to go up and then come back down. Okay, so now hopefully, yep, so it seems like they're sleeping because he's breaking line of sight for just a moment, and then you can see they get scared out of their sleeping position, which is going to make sure that overnight, it doesn't matter whether they're trying to sleep or not, this guy's going to continue to scare them. So what I might do is just make sure that this is lit up. And then we have one bay done. So we should still have a golem up there. Yep. I might quickly bring down the other zombie into this section. And before I start pouring them off, I'm going to make up a bit of a flowing water section down here that leads them into a lava blade. It's not going to be the most efficient because these guys at the bottom specifically are going to be able to see all of the iron golems that are coming down, and that's going to cause them to wait to spawn a new one. But hopefully, as we add pods higher up, those higher pods are going to be a little bit more efficient because they can't see the... oh, he fell down himself. Please don't. Okay, good. He can't get up there. So while this guy runs back and forth, we'll see whether we can get that up. And maybe I should set up some water here as well, so that if anyone falls down, they're moving into this section. And yeah, hopefully that'll be our iron farm proof of concept section done. So I'm just going to stop recording for a second. I'm going to see whether I can get that other zombie in the pod and set up a little killing chamber down here. And then we'll see what we can do about feeding the iron and poppies back up into our sorting system over in the base. All right, so some fiddling done and some setup work finished. I'm almost ready to get the lava blades. Oh, I don't want to type anything on that, but to get the lava set up down in here. Now, I think this should contain the lava pretty well. So it should just flow along there, and then the same on this side. Awesome. So now that means that anything that comes down here should, hopefully, fall into this main track and make its way down into here. Now, I might have to do some adjusting just to make sure that does work, but I think mostly it should all flow that way. Now, I had to block off the area with the zombies so that these guys weren't panicking the whole time, just so that I wasn't getting any iron golem spawns. But now I should be able to, actually, I'll just, while I'm here, may as well get some spare water. And now what I should be able to do, if I don't die by throwing myself into a wall, is just get these spruce fence gates like this. And if I come along here, like so, and open them all up, Now I should be able to put water along this edge and it'll stop it from flowing down and ruining my little chamber down below. But at the same time, it'll allow for... what am I doing? It'll allow for the golems to spawn up here. Because golems can spawn on a solid block even if it's got water on top of it. So that makes this a perfect little spawning platform. And if I just get over to the other side, clear away a little bit of the, the stuff that I have sitting there. And we'll do the exact same thing with the gates. Open them all up. I did that perfectly. I don't know how exactly. And then we'll just set up the water on this side as well. Okay. So with a bit of luck, all I have to do is make it so that these zombies in here are visible again. They'll start scaring these guys and we should have a functioning iron farm. So if I just make my way up through here, make sure I block it off as I go, something like that. And now all I have to do is open up this area like so. I think I have... I have to fix this here. So we set that up like this. Yep. There's one of our iron columns. Oh, he's holding onto the edge. Let's move you so you start to move. Let's see whether he falls down. There we go. Okay. So he does eventually. I feel like it was the fact that this guy wasn't disappearing from view that was causing him to do that. But he'll go over there, start to burn, and we should get our first pieces of iron popping across into our little section here, like so. Awesome. So, I've got 24 in my inventory. Cool, we got 4 from him. So now if I open up this other side, and while we're here, we'll see whether or not a zombie, a iron golem spawns soon. Usually happens around every 30 seconds. There we go. So he spawns there. He should drop down. Perfect. All the way down, and he'll start to burn up. Okay, cool. I'm glad it's at least working. And as we start to add more and more layers, it's going to become far more efficient, especially when we get to about, well, I better be careful not to create a spot where those guys can walk to. But yeah, it's going to become even more efficient as we begin to add more and more layers to it, because obviously, more layers equals more iron golems. So make my way through here again. Then, this guy's already moving, thankfully. I just open this up. There we go. We should start to see. Now, hopefully these platforms are far enough away from each other that they will consider that a space that needs spawning. But I feel like they may see this iron golem as it comes down here, so it might actually stop them from spawning one. The ideal situation is that both of them spawn at the exact same time. So let's just wait here for a second and see what happens. There goes one. Okay, so he's obviously blocking view. He's obviously making it so that they believe that there's an iron golem here, which is causing a problem. So what I think I might do is actually add a wall behind these guys so they can only see that and they can't see the one over there. And hopefully it breaks their line of sight to these golems as they go through here as well. So if I do it with glass, because I believe glass can stop them from seeing. So if I go like this, something like that. May as well continue it along the whole side. Okay, so one's just come down from there. Same problem with those guys on the other side though. They can now see that golem. So they're obviously assuming that they don't need to spawn one. So if we can block off the line of sight between them, it's going to help a lot. In fact, if I make this a little bit lower so that they hopefully can't even see the ones that are down in there. Okay, I need some more glass, but hopefully that will help. So now that those walls are there, let's see whether they start spawning on both sides close to each other, or whether that radius doesn't really matter as far as line of sight. There goes one. Yeah, I do think that this bottom one is going to be the main cause of problems. It's going to become more efficient as we add the top layers, because at the bottom here, these iron golems stay close enough to these villages here that they're going to believe that there is an iron golem already nearby defending them, and so they're not going to spawn a new one on their platforms. So it looks like I'm going to have to add quite a few more platforms up above before this starts to become a super functional farm. But at least we know that it does spawn golems, so that's a plus. How are you hurting there? That makes no sense. Are you trapped in the wall? What? Let's see whether his items come down anyway. Oh, how are you stuck there? Okay. Well, now that and we at least know that it works, even though it might not be as efficient as I'd hoped. Not on this layer anyway. I do believe that as the layers go up, they're not going to have the same problem as these lower guys where they believe that there's an iron column near. So that shouldn't be a problem. And if we just go across here and grab the iron, yeah, we're getting a decent little supply. So now what I'm going to do is see whether I can set up an item stream that goes this direction. And I think... Oh, there we go. Going to have to get used to that. I think I got lucky here in that there was no... Yeah, you can see that one line... Ooh. Two at once. So maybe it just needs a little bit of time to warm up. We'll see. But as I was saying, I got lucky here that one line of 8 was actually... had no bedrock in it. So I can put a layer of blue ice there. So anything that comes through launches far enough that it goes onto the next line of blocks. Meaning that this line that I'm making room for now, I can have an item stream going this way, and it's going to shoot across into there. I can put down some of these spruce fence gates in there, so the items will go through over top of the ice into another water stream that goes along this way here. I swear I keep hearing them even though they're not there. So I'm going to go up and grab some ice, and we're going to see whether we can dig our way across into the item stream that is up top there. So give me a second to grab some resources, and we'll see what we can do. Perish. Yes. It's good to know that it's at least working. Cool. Okay, cool. So I can actually see that 2 are going at once, which is good. I might wait up here another 30 seconds, because it looks like they might have synced up their times, and I want to see whether or not we get 2 coming up at the same time, or spawning at the same time on these platforms. So I just need to be patient and wait and see what happens here. Okay, there's one. Will the second one spawn at the same time? Possibly not. So it might just be a matter of luck whether 2 spawn at the same time, and it will sometimes happen, it sometimes won't. So that's okay. What I'm going to do is try and get down to this level here, like so. So this is where our item stream comes through. So the one from our mob farm, I better get out of the way so I don't pick up some items that I don't want. But essentially, I know that that is the height there, and I think it was about 39. So what I want to do is just check. If we say that's the edge there, we've come across 1, 2, 3 to where the ice is. And then on the 4th section is where my items are going to be going across in the water stream. So 1, 2, 3, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see if I can get back up there. We go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And that's going to be where we want to go down and set our items up. Down like so, till about bedrock level, which is there. Okay, I've gone a little bit deep. And we should, perfect, pop out across here. So I can grab the iron that's happened here. Get some blue ice, and we'll put the blue ice across there. That way, any items that hit that blue ice, ooh, 2 at a time. Okay, so sometimes we get 2, we get lucky. Now what I want to do, for starters, if I get out of the way, I want to see whether those items do launch across the blue ice. Okay, it looks like they do. Nice, so they should come across into this stream here. So now if I grab my fence gates, come across here like so. That's going to hold the water in, and then all I have to do... Gee, my inventory is a mess. Maybe I'll go up and I'll clear that out a bit. Okay, so how wide was that? Perfect. Blue ice there again, so the items flow across there. Another fence gate in there, so the items can flow through, but we can also add this piece of water. And then, if I fly up to the top here... Wait. Okay, good. For a second I wasn't sure whether there was bedrock directly underneath me. Now if I fly up here, what I can do is grab this water bucket, plop it down there, and we go all the way to the bottom and do this whole section up. Actually, that's going to be a problem having that one piece just there because it's going to stop me from creating this water stream properly. Ah, that's frustrating. What I might have to do is actually destroy that piece of bedrock. Ah, what a pain. Thankfully, we know how to do that pretty easily, and I think I have everything that I need inside my redstone box. Okay, so let's pick up this water here and get that out of my way. Now, what I'm going to do is block off this whole section so that I don't break anything. Now I'll pick up the blue ice because that's valuable. I don't want to lose that, and we'll open this spot up a little bit more so that I have some room to work with. Now hopefully I should be able to do this maybe first try and without destroying too much. So what I want to do is break that one. Let me think. It's a piece of obsidian there and there, a piston there. Why do I have stuff everywhere in my inventory? I need room for the TNT at the back, which goes like so. Bunch of noise. Trapdoor like that, and then all we need is our piston, our lever there. Now I need a piston in my hand. Okay, my macro is still on my mouse, so I can place super fast. Let's see how we go. I think I got it first go. I did. Perfect. We've opened that up a little bit, but that's okay. We can just fill in this hole like so. Looks like we didn't destroy anything that was valuable to our farm itself. And now I should be able to get rid of this obsidian and all our items can come through there. Perfect. So a little bit more patchwork. Doesn't have to be pretty because hopefully we never have to come down here for maintenance. With a bit of luck, the setup that I do now will allow me to basically leave this this section alone, and as we add the more layers to the iron farm, it's going to work the same regardless. So with that set up like this, now I have that in the correct spot. And what I might do is I've got 3 layers of blue ice, so I think we'll just go full blue ice across that section, and it'll have enough momentum from the water stream there to come across into our main item elevator. So if we do that so that the water can't get through, let's do that. Okay, so that's going to stop the water from, in fact I don't need that one there at all. That's going to stop the water from going back into that section. If we go up to the top again now, drop our piece of water bucket down there. Oh. I got to be careful how I fly here. So I think if we now place that there, I'll block off this section because we don't need it anymore. And now we come down to the bottom with our kelp. So all I do is make the kelp all the way up to the top. Makes all of these water sources like so. What we want to do here is create, how do I want to do this? Like so. So that the items flow across there. If we put one of our fence gates again, just here, it'll stop the water from flowing down, but it'll let the items through. And then we just grab one of these here, makes the items flow across, and they're dropping straight into our item stream. Cool. Okay, good. Now all I got to do is swim down to the bottom here, break that block, get our piece of soul sand, and up we go. Okay. Whew. I feel like we're getting somewhere. So I'm going to move across this item stream, and I'm actually going to go up into my system itself. We're going to set up the 2 filters or 3 filters for the items. Oh, that's my repository. Okay, this is as good a spot as any to come up through. Let's go up through here and see whether the whole thing is working now. Okay, so in through the back door into our maintenance area, which we'll eventually do some more stuff with. Now, that one is a rotten flesh. I think these ones are unfiltered. Now, I think I'd like to put it over on the end. So let's do that. Actually, we can put the 29 in there. We'll do a second one here. And then this one can be for our poppies. So it looks like there's a bit of kelp doing the rounds. I need to jump up in there and make sure I grab that out so that it's not constantly running around the system and well, it would eventually despawn, but I don't want it. I don't want to just have items sitting there. So what am I doing? I was already in where I needed to be. I just pop up top and stand in the water supply here. I'm going to collect a bunch of stuff, unfortunately, but here we go. There's the pieces of kelp that I want, and all of that. It looks like my melon farm might be overfilled. Interesting. Okay, let's jump down and have a look at that melon farm as well. Yep, absolutely full. Let's deposit a bunch of this stuff over here out of my way. And if anyone's curious, the way that I get rid of a stack is by holding Control and pressing Q, and it'll throw the entire stack out, which is super helpful for moments like this. So let's just make up a bunch of these melons and clear some space. I don't think, yeah, that one's still fine. Whew. Okay. We've definitely got a decent supply of melons coming through then. Yep, if I just check all of these hoppers out the back as well. Holy dooly. Pick up all our junk again. And now we should already be able to see some iron coming through. Now that's possibly... I don't have my poppies yet. Now I'll just wait here. Oh, okay. Yep, already. We've got some coming through. There probably wasn't enough poppies, so it's still filling up the filter. But if we just wait here a second, we should see some more iron coming through. Hopefully any second now. There we go. Okay, cool. Oh, a decent little bit. So that proves that our iron farm is working. It's not at full capacity yet, but it's definitely supplying iron over to our sorting system. There's another one. Ah, hold on. Okay, good. So what was I saying? That's right. So we've got our iron farm is working. The way I've set up these modules does generate iron golems, as you can see right there. And all I have to do now is just stack them up. And I can get quite a few layers in here. I'm going to make sure that I have the distances right between them. But we do know that it works, and it is now heading over towards, oh, of course I looked at him, towards our automatic sorting system. So let's just double check. It was about 30 before, now it's at 40. That's great. And we should, yeah, now we're starting to get some poppies because that's filled up the filter. And I'd probably set that poppy one up to eventually go into a composter, so it's always generating bone meal. But for now, it can fill up like that. I'm not too worried about it because I'm so sorry it has taken me a long time to make this episode, but I have been unwell. I've had to go see the doctor a bit and get some blood tests because I'm really fatigued, but I've been trying my best to work on this when I'm feeling upbeat like I am now. I actually do feel okay at the moment, and I'm so glad I've reached this stage. I'm going to work in between episodes to make the other layers to that iron farm so it's up and running to its full potential, and then hopefully in the next episode we can come back and keep moving with some different projects. So with that being said, I want to thank Tom, my level 3 Patreon supporter. I really appreciate it, and all my other patron supporters. Thank you so much for the ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. Sorry that it's taken me sorry it's taken me so long to get this episode out, but I feel like pretty soon I should be back to normal and being able to put some more effort into these episodes and making them on a regular schedule again. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, all of you. I do hope you're taking care of yourselves. Don't worry, I am taking care of myself too. That's the reason why this has taken so long, because I haven't forced myself to really try and get this episode out. So until the next episode, take care of yourselves as always. I hope you enjoyed the start of this little iron farm. I'll show you off the rest of it in the next episode. And until then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.